Our senior civic project is about how we can prevent pedestrian accidents and car accidents around schools.
While walking or driving to school back and forth, my group and I have witnessed multiple car accidents, whether it was before school or after school. While witnessing multiple car accidents throughout our school year, my group and I have noticed that this can be a safety hazard to both the pedestrians and the drivers. And it may also affect them, whether it is causing them to be late to school or it's causing them to get caught up in traffic. To solve this problem, we decided to do research on how can pedestrian-involved crashes be prevented.
We came up with a compelling question, which is how can pedestrians-involved crashes be prevented? For this question, we chose to focus it more around school. To answer this compelling question, we had to answer other questions, which were our supporting questions, and those questions were, what has been done already? What can we do to prevent it from happening again?
And also, what causes these pedestrians to not let the cars pass through or exit through? To answer one of our supporting questions, which is what has been done already, from personal experience, there has always been a campus aid by the student parking lot, gate, and tennis courts, making sure that kids cross the entrance area safely. He or she would make sure that the students would stop for the cars to pass by and enter the gate safely, and vice versa. Now that it has been my last year of high school, I noticed that stopped over the first few months of high school.
We have thought of ways to prevent pedestrians from involving themselves into car accidents. We were thinking of stopping the pedestrians from jaywalking, since most of the time a crash would occur from students walking when cars are driving. We thought about adding a crosswalk to indicate students are crossing and to slow cars down. But we couldn't do that since we would cause a bit more traffic due to the elementary school down the street. So we went around to interview those who drive and walk about pedestrians who get in the way of the driver or the driver's not letting them walk by. Some drivers have mentioned about being late sometimes due to the pedestrians getting in the way, and so we decided to interview some securities about ways we can stop it.
Do you know a way that might be able to prevent accidents involving cars or pedestrians around our school?
For us, preventing that is by having a motorcycle cop out here.
Motorcycle cop?
Yes.
Do you think that would help?
That would help with all traffics in the morning and after school. That would help us out a lot.
Pedestrians and cars.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have like there's certain streets that have like little flashing lights, just like crosswalks. Maybe they notify the vehicle. It'd be helpful to notify the vehicle that there's pedestrians crossing. Another way, it notifies the student, gives the student that right of way to actually start crossing because it's safe for them at the other end.
You need a light or a stop sign. Just relying on people to be nice and stop. I don't know. Again, I'm from the East Coast. We're not that trusting of drivers.
Have you seen any car accidents that involve pedestrians around school?
No, I haven't, but I have seen a lot of cars racing down Cerritos while kids are about to cross.
It's somewhat serious injuries that we have encountered, but that was like a long time ago where we had to call the paramedics. And in good faith, the kids came back like a month later in good health.
Not often. I've worked here 12 years. Again, my hours were always later. So those type of things I never witnessed.
Have you ever been late to school because of students blocking your access to the student parking lot?
Yes, I have. Completely late, not always, but no, never.
Was there ever a time when a car accident made you late to school?
Yes. I can't recall any. I think as of now, I haven't witnessed any car accidents in the moment.
While entering the student parking lot, do you let the students pass by to go to the parking lot, or do you just drive through and make the students wait for you until you enter the parking lot?
It all depends how my time is, if I'm gonna be late or not.
Usually I'll let them pass, and because it'll be like waves, like a whole little amount of people come by, and then after that I'll go through. Unless I'm really late, then and if I know the person, I might, but for the most part, I let them.
Arriving or leaving school, do you ever see students jaywalking?
Yes.
Is it a lot?
Yeah, a lot.
All the time, people jaywalk, even though the light is right here, jaywalking, it's fast, convenient, not safe, but it does happen.
After school, I see a lot of kids jaywalking out of school.
Because of the time of morning I start, kind of, not really. I don't start till 8, so a lot of times you all are in by the time I get here, but a little bit.
There's been plenty throughout the years, yes. Off Euclid and Cerritos, where kids are constantly just jumping in front of incoming traffic, and that's really dangerous.
Did you find Gary, the campus aide, useful helping with the cars and students?
It was useful because he was able to control the crowd and the people and the cars, and I think it was something that should be there every day.
Have you ever jaywalked to get to school on time?
I have jaywalked.
I have. Have you ever seen a car accident due to someone jaywalking?
No, I have not.
No, I haven't. While entering the gates by the student parking area, do you wait for the cars and then cross, or do you just walk directly and make the cars wait for you?
I wait for the cars to get in and then cross.
Sometimes I wait, sometimes I just go for it. When walking to school, do you see kids jaywalking more in the morning or after school?
After school. After school.
I see more in after school. We also decided to do an online survey, so here are the questions and the responses. How do you get to school? 54.5% people walk, 29.1% of the students drive, and 16.4% of the people or students either ride their bike or their skateboard. While getting to school, have you ever witnessed a car accident? 78.2% of the students said they did, and 21.8% of the students say they didn't. Have you ever been late to school because of a car accident? 81.8% of students said yes, and 18.2% of students said no. While entering the gate by the student parking area, do you wait for the cars to get in safely, then make your way through the gate, or do you walk directly through the gate and make the cars wait for you to get in? 56.4% of the students said that they walk directly through the gate and make the cars wait for them to get in, and 40% of the students say that they wait for the cars to get in safely and then they make their way through the gate. When going to school, have you ever seen students jaywalk? 90.9% of students say yes, and 9.18% of students say no. Have you ever jaywalked to get to school? 87.3% of the students say that they did, and 12.7% say that they didn't. In the beginning of the school year, there was a security by the gate, which is the entrance to the student parking area, making it easier for the students to cross and for the cars to get in safely. Did you find this helpful for you as well as the students and parents? About 80% of students say that they did find it helpful, and 18.2% of the students said that they didn't find it helpful.
We decided to interview Jensen to see his point of view.
The first question is about pedestrians jaywalking and involving the traffic here at the entrance. So the first question is, have you seen any accidents before or after school that involve pedestrians and drivers getting injured?
Fortunately, no, in my 3 years, but kind of like your question leans towards, I'm very surprised because it always makes me nervous.
Oh. The second question is, what makes the cars to enter the wrong way or rush students to cross to let them access the parking lot?
Yeah, we don't have enough people to man all the entrances and the gates, so you're right. People, even though there are arrows and things pointing, if they're in a hurry or for whatever reason, just disregard for the safety of everybody around them, they ignore them. We have talked about having a single entry and exit that we could monitor a little better, but we're still kind of in talks with the city to make that happen, because it would also mean doing something out with the street as far as signage and stuff.
How can we prevent the pedestrians and cars to peacefully get out of the area without bumping into each other or causing each other problems?
If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. It's just people following rules and respecting one another. And like you say, everybody thinks that, not everybody, that's those people that break those rules are either in a hurry or they just have a disregard. I don't know. I mean, other than more supervision, but that's not realistic at this point.
And I remember, because I walked this way in the morning, and I remember Gary, the security, was like, you like working it out, like putting the cars
Over
and
by the
stuff.
tennis court.
Yeah. Is there any chance to bring the security back out to the parking lot?
Yeah, and I've thought about that because you're not the first one. It's like, where do I need it most? But the more I talk to groups like you, it's probably out there.
Thank you.
All right.
He says people are just breaking laws and not respecting one another, but he has been thinking a lot about sending out a security to control the cars and pedestrians to enter the parking lot without any problems.
For our action plan, we decided to make an infographic about pedestrian safety and driver safety. We decided to hang these small posters throughout campus and around school so students can be aware while crossing the street. To end our project, the final result would have to be a security in the morning and after school to help out the cars and pedestrians on arriving to school on time without any problems and to prevent any type of accidents.